All right, everybody, welcome aboard. My name is Doobyis. This is After the Smoke is Clear. It's an offshoot of the mix show that I do every week. I like to call these segments Fly in Formation. I thought that was a cool name because it's kind of a reference to, like, you know, how Canadian geese fly in that V shape to make it easier for all the ones in the back, and they rotate out from the front, and everybody takes turns being the lead and all that good stuff. So in the spirit of that, I like to try to point the spotlight to different artists in different cities, learn what I can about them and about the scene that they're from too. So today I'm talking to a producer named Devious Dreams, who has been producer for a lot of the beats for a lot of the songs that I play on ATSIC. Really, you've heard this guy's work if you listen to ATSIC. Played stuff with Meyer Clarity, you know, years ago, I think, even now, over the pandemic probably, but sometime in season 2 I think was maybe the first time that I stumbled across Devious Dreams music here. But you know, since then, like, the newest stuff, the newest episode of ATSIC that'll be out tomorrow has a song by Eddie Jones that you produced there. So yeah, I'm gonna switch over views here and get both of us on screen, and we'll get this thing going. All right, so yeah, thanks for joining me, man.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. You know, like I said, the whole thing is just to try to build community hip hop nationally, right? Like, I feel like there's a lot of cities that they know their own crew, or they know the guys in that area, but just haven't branched out as much. So I'm trying to make, you know, ATSIC and these interviews kind of a hub where people can learn more about that stuff. So
yeah, I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, dude. You know, I figured, like, why not? I have time to do it, so let's do it. That was kind of my pandemic project, and now it's just carry through on it. So with season 3, I thought, let's start reaching out to artists and doing interviews. But I appreciate you being here. I wanted to ask, like, first off, man, can you just give me a list of artists who you have worked with in the past? Like,
so my more recent stuff, I've worked with every member of Lunchroom Poets. Actually, eventually I plan on doing something with them as a group as well too. But mostly I've been working a lot with Stitch, Lotus, and B1. Me and B1 have been working a ton together. We actually do some co-production projects as well too, which has been quite a lot of fun. But I work with people from all over, man. Like, I work with a dude out of the States named Truth as well. He's from Atlanta, and the dude's popping off over there. He actually was, like, in the top contending for the Tech 9 contest that he recently had for a verse.
Dope. Yeah, I saw that Tech 9 contest.
Yeah. So he's like one of the top 10 in that contest right now. So that's pretty dope. And I've also been working with a lot of guys out of Atlanta, just in general, which has been pretty cool.
For the Tech 9 contest, was he rapping on one of your beats, or I don't know?
No, it was like one of the beats that was, like, provided for the contest.
I was gonna say, that'd be dope exposure.
Yeah, that would have been sick.
Collaborating.
Exactly.
So yeah, man, like I was saying, like, you've worked with all these different artists, and it's dope to hear, like, that you're still working with all these guys, seeing stuff come out every week or whatever. Because that's what it's about, is building those relationships with people. I wanted to ask, dude, like, are most of them guys you've met personally, or are some of these relationships that have come together through email and stuff? You know?
Yeah, actually, it's kind of funny. Like, 90% of the people who I work with, I'd say, like, I've never actually physically met. Me and Stitch, like, we met a few times. We did a video together and stuff like that, and I had him down to the studio that I work out of. So we actually recorded an EP that's going to be dropping this year. It's been done for like 2 years, so I've been kind of loafing on it, but I wanted to get a lot more singles out there and kind of get a name for myself before I drop this Stitch project, right?
Sure. Actually, that ties into another thing I wanted to ask. I typed in your name on Spotify just to, you know, kind of refresh myself on some of the stuff that like I have seen, but just wanted to remember. And all of your singles that you've put out with different dudes, they've all got similar album art with the triangle.
Yeah. I'm heavy on my branding, man.
So I'm wondering, like, who does the album art? Is it you?
I do the album art. Yeah, I do my own album art, mixing, mastering. I do everything, basically. My own distribution, my own promotion.
So, and my online detective brain here is telling me, like, so does this mean that you reach out to these artists to do this, or? But yeah, like most producers who I'm looking at online, right? Like, you can type in, you know, Sealance or whoever else, just off the top of my head, and have a bunch of people pop up on Spotify where they've done songs on his beats, so it's them and Sealance on Spotify. but they don't all have similar album art or branding, right? Like, so I assume that's more of like a transaction where somebody's buying a beat and getting it sent to them, and then from there on, it's out of their hands.
Yeah, that's usually how that would work. A lot of the stuff that I like, anything I release as Devious Dreams
Yeah.
is all like, I know I've set it up, and it's either been through, you know, a mutual friend connection, something like that,
So,
or it's just been, it kind of just happened. Like the Lotus EP, we put a track together. I think it was like late 2020. Just, it was like the pandemic was heavy at that point in time,
yeah.
and it did like 20,000 plays on Spotify. So we were like, all right, we got something here. Let's just work on something else, you know, like. And then we put out the first single from this new EP that we're dropping, and it hit it's almost at like 200,000 streams or something like that. Just been blowing up like crazy. Yeah, it's been pretty nuts. So I'm pretty hyped for that album, and that's after that.
Man,
but
like you're working with good MCs, and your beats all have this like accessible melodic sound to them that you hear in mainstream stuff too. So I think it's a good look for guys to jump on those beats, because it is something that might pop off, you know.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. It's
like, I always try to be like really unique with my beats. Like my beats are kind of like, I have been influenced from a whole bunch of different genres. Like I grew up listening to metal, and I was actually the front man for a metal band for like a few years. So like that, my musical stuff comes from that level, right? And I also play drums.
And do like a rap rock band or whatever?
I haven't. I've actually produced a few like rap beats for a few artists. That haven't dropped yet. I'm still waiting for those to drop. Dude, but like
being from Alberta, like, you know, there wasn't as much of a hip hop scene, so I know so many guys that are in punk bands or metal bands or whatever that like it's second nature to just be able to rap on that shit, because I've hung around in so many garages making my ears hurt listening to listening to it. There's a microphone, so it's like, all right, well, there's a rhythm, let me go. So,
100%,
brother. Dude, what else do I have to ask you here? I did write up some questions. I try to keep this thing all conversational or whatever, but I did
for sure
some groundwork. So you mentioned a project with Stitch coming up, and you've been working on that for a while.
It's been finished for well over a year. Like it's done. It's just like kind of waiting for that right time to drop. And it's a summer album, so I'm thinking we're gonna drop it summer this year. Like it just has that summer vibe to it.
So will that be through Stealth Bomb? Most of Stitch's stuff comes out on Stealth Bomb.
No, that's independent. That's a Devious Dreams X.
Nice.
Young Stitch EP.
Nice.
I'm actually
it'll have the triangle art.
Actually no, we actually have different art for. So if you go through and you look, like I did an EP with B1, and the art that I do for my EPs is a little bit different,
right?
Because like obviously I'm gonna have a front art, back art. For my single art, I try to keep it with that sort of triangle look.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
For like actual EPs and full projects, I usually actually get another artist to do a main art, and then I kind of add what I want to it.
Nice.
So like, you know, you got to keep things different, but it all really goes towards my branding, which is this really spacey, out there, naturey. If you listen to some of my older beats, especially, you'll hear like birds and stuff that I've just recorded while over at the park and stuff like that, you know.
Nice.
I really enjoy that side of production.
So where can people listen to, like, do you have, you know, beats up for sale on BeatStars, or
I gotta open up a BeatStars store again,
or any of that?
I do have SoundCloud, but
beats.
I don't actually, and that's something I should get on more. Usually people just reach out to me, and I send them over the beat packs that I have available. I do actually have a beat pack dropping later this month, but I should definitely look into getting like a BeatStars account or a second SoundCloud.
Man, that one that you sent over to me, it was like 7 tracks or whatever earlier today, but there's some heat on there. I don't know if you were around on the stream, but earlier I was just freestaling my way through some of that.
I'm gonna have to go back and check that out.
Bars, but some of it was written, so it was all right. But yeah, man, to get a little bit more technical on the technical side of things, what type of programs and gear do you like using? Like
so I a lot of my gear, when we go to the studio, like obviously I'm using like more heavy gear, but that's more for recording people. When it comes to mixing and stuff, I actually use a lot of stuff that's hardware based.
Okay.
So I'm not using a lot of analog gear at home and stuff like that, but I use FL Studio, and I like to use Omnisphere a lot for my synths and stuff like that. But sometimes I like to go old school and just find like a really old jazz tune and sample the shit out of it.
Right.
And, you know, add my own drums, add my own bass, add my own flavor.
Nice.
I've been trying to use a live bass on a lot of my newer stuff. So like if you listen to my stuff that's way back, it has like a really loud like 808 going on in it. But my newer stuff is all like very live bass, very lo-fi sounding,
more
sort of
instrumentation
deal
to it. So are you can you play bass? Like you're talking about an actual bass?
Yeah, I play bass, I play drums, I can play a little bit of piano.
Nice. Okay. So Actually, I wanted to ask too, because in that beat pack, each of the beats has like what key it's in or whatever, and I was like,
Yep.
oh, look at this guy, he's a trained musician over here.
I went to Trevis for audio production engineering, so I know a little bit.
Yeah, word. That makes sense. So another thing I was going to ask was how hands on are you in the studio with like engineering and stuff? So you said when we go to the studio, so it sounds like when you're working with these artists, you're getting in.
Oh yeah, I'm there. We're
Right
working on the mix.
them?
We're getting it done. Yeah,
Okay,
like
nice.
for the Lotus EP that I've just worked on, which is like what I've been working on a lot lately in my spare time. Like that, he records his own vocals, sends them to me. Then I just put that flavor on top of it and really make him sing. Right.
Yeah, dude, all sounds so good. If you're behind all the mixing and mastering on all that too, that's
I do all the mixing, mastering all the way throughout.
Yeah.
No lander, no none of that bullshit. You know, there's nothing like the personal touch.
Yeah, hell yeah. As far as like your creative process, if you're gonna make a beat, would you? This is so most of the time I'm talking to MCs, so I ask it the other way around, and I'm like, if you're gonna make a song, do you want the producer in the studio with you making that beat from scratch? You know, having the back and forth with you, or do you just like to be given a beat and sit there alone and write to it until you've got your thing, you know, and have a full product given to you? And I get some answers from both sides, but talking to producers or DJs, I've been flipping the question. So it's like, to you, do you get energy from a situation where you've got an MC or two in the room with you who you're making a beat for? Or
yeah, I most definitely enjoy that. I most definitely enjoy it. Like I like both aspects of it, because sometimes when I'm sitting there alone, you know, I can really vibe out, spark up a big blunt and do my thing, right?
By yourself can be
exactly,
too,
you know, whenever the inspiration comes, it comes. Sure. But like working in a studio with an artist is great too, because then you can really bounce off those vibes, right? Like I can see just by looking at this artist, like, okay, he's feeling what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
So I keep going with it.
So is there a set studio that we should shout out that you always hit up? Actually, for that matter, we didn't even mention what city you're in. I don't.
I'm from Toronto. So I'm a Toronto-based artist. Yeah.
Okay. So what studio have you?
We work out of MCS Studio at 550 Queen Street East.
Okay.
It's a pretty proper spot.
Yeah, right.
I would definitely recommend checking it out. It's expensive though, so right 3-hour minimums, guys. 3-hour minimums.
Get your money up and get your bars right before you go.
That's right, exactly, man.
Nice.
But actually, in the video that I did with Young Stitch on my YouTube, you can actually see the studio. We did like a little studio recording video, so.
Oh, nice. Okay.
You can get like a full-on scope of exactly where we record.
Little promo for the studio too. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
That's dope. Well, yeah, dude. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know everybody's time is valuable. I guess just a general question, like how has pandemic been for you? I know a lot of artists have been missing stage a lot. Like do you get on stage? I
do actually. I DJ, and I used to be an EDM producer, so I used to like DJ EDM stuff a lot.
Yeah,
different bars and stuff like that. Yeah,
crowd was big. Yeah.
I haven't been able to do anything during the pandemic as far as DJing, right? Because my EDM project, I kind of pushed to the side to work on Devious Dreams and really put that out there. Yeah. But what I'm looking to do now that the pandemic is over is I want to get a lot of these artists that I've been working with and putting out tracks with and do a little live set with them. I think that would be really dope, and it could bring a lot of audience together because they all have different followings, right?
Nice. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea, man. I think the crossover between EDM and hip hop, it's something I'm seeing a lot of, like at festivals and stuff out here on the prairie. That's some of the places, like the bigger crowds that a rapper can even get out here is going to be those festival gigs or whatever. And a lot of that audience is the crossover that's there to dance to EDM till 4 in the morning, but they're cool with listening to some guy rap at 10 o'clock at night or whatever, right?
Oh man, it happens. All the time.
Totally. So I think it's a good look to be blending those scenes and all the other scenes together. It's all just music or whatever. And
exactly, like, and I love all different kinds of music, you know, except for like really slow old country. I'm not a huge fan of that. Like I like the rebels of country, like Johnny Cash and those guys.
There you go. Yeah.
You know, country's kind of where my genres stop.
I think that's pretty relatable, man. I'm with you on that one. But I guess I can ask, other than the Stitch project, are there any other projects people should look out for coming up? Are you planning?
Yeah, actually,
a project with everybody on it? Like, are you going to do I'm
I'm
Dr. Dre,
definitely
and I'm
gonna do a
stand back
Devious
and let them
Dreams
rap. Yeah.
debut album that I'm gonna have like 18 tracks on for sure. I've actually have a few tracks that are already finished off of it
Right on.
with a bunch of other artists. So
I figured
like
that might
I've been
be coming.
slowly putting it together. But the one that everybody needs to be on the lookout for is Beautiful Nightmare with Lotus James, which is our next EP that we got dropping. I'm looking to drop it in probably late July. We just gotta get the hard copies finished. Like the mix is done and it sounds tasty. I think I sent you a few tracks off of that album.
Yeah.
And it's some serious fire. You ain't gonna want to miss it. Lotus is a beat killer for real.
Let me know when I'm allowed to play those things.
Yeah, if I sent you them, bro, you can play them.
Oh, all right. Sounds good, man.
Yeah.
Sounds
No
good.
worries. No worries.
I normally wait until they're up on streaming because I don't want to step on people's toes or whatever. Unless
Timeless has been out, the first single. But
I think
I'm
maybe I
definitely
did play
cool with
that,
you playing
actually,
the Storm.
Timeless.
The Storm is actually, it was playing on 98.5 yesterday. So
Cool. Yeah, I'll get that one into a mix real soon then, man. Yeah.
no worries, brother.
But yeah, dude, appreciate you coming by. And we can wrap it up. The last question I'm going to ask you though is, and I ask everybody this: who from your community should we be paying attention to that maybe we aren't? Who can you put us up on?
Man, there's so many. Like everybody's already like, looking to the Lunchroom Poets. So I can't even say any of those guys, but I've actually been working with this dude called Mindset recently. He's out of Barrie and he's got some pretty fire stuff. I've been mixing his stuff lately and mastering it, and
perfect.
He's got some bangers coming. I promise that.
Out of Barrie, Ontario, you say?
Barrie, Ontario. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, I'll check that out. I haven't heard that name, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'll send you over a link to some of his stuff, man. His next video that he has dropping, I mixed and mastered. So, and it's a banger of a track.
Is it just at Devious Dreams all over social
media? At
Devious
Dreams 420 is where you'll find me on social media.
Right on.
Yeah, Devious Dreams 420.
420 plays it, bro. All right.
That's what it is.
Yeah, over here too. Again, thanks,
ATSIC
dude. And we'll catch you on another time. But
yeah, for sure. Anytime, brother. I'd love to come on again.
Yeah. All right. Peace.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Alrighty, so there's that. Devious Dreams, another artist who's easy to talk to. I like talking about art. Artists like talking about their art. It all lines up and works out well. So I hope everybody enjoyed that and learned maybe a thing or heard a new artist mentioned. Mindset, Meyer Clarity, go check out. Lotus James, check out. Eddie Jones' new single Fly, that's going to be on ATSIC that drops tomorrow. B1 the Architect, I know I've got a remix that Devious Dreams did for him recently that I got to play on ATSIC coming up still. Haven't got a chance to get it in, I don't think. But yeah, and I'll get that Storms one in the mix someplace too. So hopefully maybe I can get those on before this interview airs. I think this will be for episode 18 of ATSIC. This should be pinned to the end of it. So I'll try to keep pumping these things out. And salutes for everybody for coming by. I might jump on later and play some video games or something. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll make more music. Peace.